on, legends? Is everything live? Just testing an amp that I worked on a while back. How are we going gain-wise? Looks a bit low. Maybe I pressed the button without meaning to. Which fucking button is it? That one. Joy to the world. My mic is live. Alright. What's going on? My throat's a bit sore today. I don't know why. Joy. G'day Rob. G'day Chris G46. Is that a new name? Is that a new member or is that a different name? Sweet thumbnail, yeah. That was a PV Cub something or other. I did a while back. And it's was hacked up by some dickhead, like everything is these days. Where are my filters? My levels seem to have changed without me changing anything, which isn't new. With the old OBS. Alright, let's try that on for size. Just looks a bit low on the levels, but anyway. Does anyone know where I can learn how to solder like this? I'm assuming you mean the thumbnail there, Kimball. You can take soldering lessons from me. Come on, Rob, you're better than that. Ray Charles will probably give you similar lessons. Not anymore. It is but a flesh wound. Wakey, wakey, hands off Snakey. You must be an Aussie. Because everyone would say eggs and bakey in the States. Because apparently no one masturbates in America. No eggs and bakey. There you go. Rob F just proved my point. Oh. The elephants are walking around upstairs again. I was a bit late because I had a minor altercation with a fucking dickhead out there with a leaf blower. So we got this pebblecrete right out the front of our shop, like a footpath, elevated from the car park. And it was full of like all the concrete dust and sand and shit. I think it's like eroded away over the years. So the next door asked the strata to like give it a pressure clean because it was like moldy in their area and it was like slippery and stuff. So they did that, but they blasted all the sand out, and now there's like a 1/4 inch layer of sand all through the car park. So every time the wind picks up, this big dust bowl just occurs in the front, and it blows under my door because there's no door seals. I've got to put some on, but you know, got to do a lot of things. So I sent an email to the strata, said, can you get someone to bring one of those street sweepers around and just like vacuum up the fucking sand, because it's like concrete with like a 1/4 inch of sand on top of it. And they said, oh yeah, we'll look at that, no worries. And it appears that all they did was send out some inbred smoking a cigarette with a leaf blower to just blow the dust around, like, you know, like it goes a meter that way, and then they go over here and blow it that way, it goes a meter that way, and then they give up on that spot and walk over here, and just meth head behaviour. So I said, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm fucking cleaning. I'm like, you're not cleaning, bro. If that's how you wipe your ass, just with one piece of toilet paper and just smudge it all over your asshole. Anyway, people are dumb. The world would be good if it wasn't for people. Moving on. So how are we all? A little bit late because of that, but I've got this Marshall on the bench. It's not ideal. Ooh, a bit overexposy there. Shiny stuff. It's worse with the light than without it. Hang on. Reflective surfaces are a real bitch to video. Hang on. Just have to go with this bugger all light. So the previous guy, another Sydney tech, turned this 1959 SLP into a 2-channel thing. Now, he introduced a relay, switchable with this pull pot on the front. But the relay he used was this one, which is meant for switching like motors and shit. Like you'd find that on like your garage door opening unit, you know, big ka-chunk, 5 amp, 240 volt AC 5 amp or 28 volt DC 5 amp, because DC is a lot harder to break. Point being, when you're dealing with small signals, if there's any slight oxidization or whatever on the contacts, it won't make contact. The other thing is the coil draws a fuck ton of current, which one of my lovely commenters suggested. And the poor little pissy power supply which she put in over here with an auxiliary transformer and a 10 ohm filter node, network thing, 1000 microfarad caps across it, sagged. So it was sitting at like 18 volts when, or to 16 volts or something, and then it dropped to like 8 volts when the relay was energized. So I replaced it. I got a little bit of PCB there, you know, the prototyping boards, and put like a little telecommunications relay there meant for small signals. So yeah, not the tidiest, but it works now, and it doesn't crackle and shit when it's just sitting there idling. Because it was literally the contacts weren't making contact. So that's an inappropriate relay to use. Someone else commented, "Oh, have you got a freewheeling diode? Free flyback diode?" Of course I fucking do. Give me some credit. The amount of comments that think I'm like I don't know anything about electronics. I know like 3 things, and I know that you put a diode there. But it was interesting. So this coil is polarized, so it must have a internal flyback diode and series resistor, because when I plugged it in one way it didn't work. You plug it in and it drawed excessive current. You plug it in the other way and it does work. So I just learned something about that relay that is not printed anywhere on the data sheet. Relay data sheets can be a bit shit, to be honest. They don't tell you a lot of stuff that is pertinent to the design. Anyway, this one's working now. I did a job to this a while back, just a service, I think, and it's come back because of that. So now it should be sorted. Sucks working on stuff that other people have modded, just in general. It's a, oh, there's the little turn off zip, which everyone worries about, but it's because of the op-amp powered FX loop, which isn't great. Jace from Head First has got a better option for that with the LND 150s. Good drop-in module that you can just directly one-for-one replace. Maybe some alterations to the dropper resistor for the HT line that it taps off, but yeah, you use them for motor controls, Chris. That's right. Not for friggin' tiny little guitar signals. Someone said something that vaguely annoyed me, and I've lost the comment. Oh, what's with the subscribers only mode box I got that's still there? What? Subscribers, what's with the subscribers only mode box I got that's still there? Well, it wouldn't go anywhere because it's subscribers only. It'd stay there because it's subscribers only. Subscribers only chat, Peter. Only people that are allowed to chat are subscribers. You're a subscriber, clearly, because you've chatted, so. Those sub-miniature relays have most of the time got polarized coils, at least in my experience. Oh yeah, I know that now. Where were you yesterday? Thank you. I just had to swap it over, that's fine. There's a relay like that in my Kitty Hawk. Yeah, some of the relays are fantastically small, like ridiculous. So I got ones like this, which are like out of like mark bases for the 1000-watt speaker relays protection. Then you got ones like this, which I like to use in pedals. Look at the cute little bugger. It's a 9-volt dual pole dual throw Omron. Oh fuck! I always go just that little bit too far, don't I? Yeah, they're awesome. The only thing to be aware is the pins are irregular. See, the coil pins are offset a little bit. That's how they it's like the keyway. You can just jam it in there in a prototyping board, but it bends it a bit. You need to sit it up a little bit, otherwise you may fracture the lead, break the lead off. But yeah, they're awesome for pedals. 9-volt, they draw like a tiny whisper of current, like nothing. But ultimately, solid state relays are the way to go. The only problem is the supply's never fantastic on them. You look at the parts in you know, DigiKey or Mouse or whatever, and they're like in the order of a couple of hundred in stock, not a couple of hundreds of thousands. So it makes me nervous designing anything with them in, and they tend to have a reasonably short life cycle before they start the next revision. So here's the mod area. Hey, I'm on New Zealand. Hang on, let me scroll back up. There's a lot of chat happening which I haven't read. In the US, we're more concerned with choking the chicken. Hey Brad, saw your video on the boards, replacement boards for the DSL, TSL amps. Just wondering which revision of boards from Marshall are safe to leave in. I've seen revision 10. I've seen people say they've got revision 10 boards, mosquito, with issues. I've never encountered issues with revision 10. I think the issues were layout related rather than the actual conductive board. So yeah, I've seen every revision 10 unit I've seen has been stable. However, I've heard from the States people have witnessed unstable, or from the States in the UK, it doesn't matter where, whatever. So revision 10 in my experience is fine, but others have said differently. But revision 20 is the one they finished on, and that's the last revision. Any of the pale ones are fucked. If they're not fucked yet, they will be eventually. They may not within the next 10 years if they're not already, if it's been lightly used. The thing is, people want a hard and fast rule with these things, like, is this good, is this fucked? You're dealing with sheet stock that was manufactured in massive amounts, so there's variability across the batches. There's probably areas in that board that have contamination, which is what caused it, or whatever. They're they're loading the resin into the whatever press machine they make it with. It could be the resin batches. It could be anything, you know? Like, who knows? So there may be some of those boards out there that are okay, but there's fucking very few of them. I'll tell you what. A few of the 50-watt ones I've seen, the JCM 2000 DSL50, a few of them I've seen are okay. They're very rare amps, though. They didn't manufacture a lot of them. I don't know why, because they're better than 100 watt, in my opinion. And the TSL 60, because you've got less heat occurring, and less, just less heat in the thing. And the combos tend to cop it more than the heads, because the heads have the valves upright, but the head's much more common. So, and then it depends how it's been biased, how many hours it's done. This is a really bad t-shirt to wear on live streaming. Look at the Moiré. It's very distracting. Just watching a Macintosh that I've got under load, I can smell the dummy loads heating up. It's pumping out about 50 watts a channel, just constantly. Did it for 12 hours yesterday without a problem. It's going to do it for 12 hours today, probably without a problem. And then as soon as the customer gets it back, it'll do something funny. I'm on this Pete Moore. Hey, I'm on New Zealand medical benefits now. It's official. I have prostate cancer. I can't afford a fucking YouTube tax just to chat here, for fuck's sake. You're already chatting here, Peter. There's no tax. You don't have to pay to subscribe. Like, sorry to hear about your prostate cancer, but you're already chatting here. You don't have to pay anything to chat here. And the other thing is, please don't harass me for having some members only content. Do you have any fucking idea how long it takes to do these videos and how much time I've got to take out on a day to do it? I'm unapologetic. Pretty much everything that I've released to members eventually gets released to the public. The members just get the early release, or the dumb videos that the public will probably just thumbs down anyway, so who cares? But I'm unapologetic about earning money on this. Brain fart. Oh, okay. Peter sorted it out. Right. Sorry, I'm up in the chat. I'm working my way down. No, there's no such thing as paid subscribers. There's memberships and there's subscriberships. Memberships are paid. Basically, the memberships, the way I've worked it so far is it's just a token gesture saying thanks for the material, here's a couple of bucks, but nothing's really gate kept behind it. Everything eventually gets released. They get some perks like early releases or unedited stuff, which is maybe not really that good for public release because it's too sweary or ranty or dangerous. But there. Edited. That's hard to say this hour in the morning. One day I would like to learn how to design, build an RC controlled relay for my warship models. Want to turn on and off with bilge pump. That'd be pretty cool. So it'd go up and down. Yeah. Most of the off-the-shelf RC relays can't handle the amps. Well, what you want there, Robbie, is instead of ordering a like a relay unit, like fully contained with a relay attached, what you want is a relay controller. So if you switch the relay with a transistor, so all your RF thing is doing is sending a signal to a transistor, and you've got a chunkier transistor which is switching the relay, so you can deal with the higher current required. There's millions of articles on this. Check out, I think even our man Rod Elliott has a whole article on driving relays. But any of the microcontroller based forums like Arduino stuff, look at Arduino relay driving guides, because the Arduinos can supply fuck all current. Some of them are designed to supply a lot of current because they've got the driver transistors already on the shield or whatever they call it, the hat. But yeah, they will have a guide on how to drive it with a small signal. But yeah, off-the-shelf relays can't handle the amps. Well, don't worry about them. Just get them from an electronic supplier like DigiKey or someone. G'day, Victor. How you going, legend? I don't know what Gooden's on about, but that's why I love him. Righto, motherfucker. Did you get the Booker's Bourbon review? Question mark from Peter Moore. I've had Booker's before, but I haven't had it for a while. I should get it again. Oh, hang on. No, I'm thinking Baker's. Baker? Yeah, Booker's is the one in the tall bottle. Looks like a wine bottle. No, I haven't got it yet, but I am due for a whiskey order. So I'll probably add that to the list there, Pete. Jim Cox, how you going, legend? Presumably someone looked his work over for him. What, the previous tech here? I don't think so. He's a lone wolf, one-man show. My dad lived to 92 with a bad medical care after a stroke. Not the cancer is what took him from us. Wow. Well, we're starting off on a bright note here, aren't we? Good morning, Brad. Still Friday in Ireland. Yep, that's how time zones work. I'd love to go to Ireland one day. Any things to look out for when looking for Variacs 4240 volts, 6.66 amps enough? Yeah, that's heaps. Or 10 amp we'll use with 100 watt Marshalls. Well, you look at the the mains rating of the fuse on an amp. And what do we got here? 3.15 amps. Oh, that, yeah, if you're in 240 volts, 6.66 plus it's satanic. That's awesome. 6.66 amps would be heaps, but probably go 10 amp for the extra margin. Just say if you leave it up and running on it for a while, you don't get it warming up too much. So this is the first time in 4 years I've been able to tune in live, usually working. Holy shit, 4 years? I've been watching your awesome content since 2020. Wow. Now I'm still here. Some things never change. Guitar rich, assuming the 6 is for a G. 4 years? What was I doing 4 years ago? Well, I was already here. 2020. It depends what time in 2020. Might have just left the garage. Morning, Dad. Morning, Mum. How are yous? This is Robbie F's daughter again, just on my main. Oh, g'day. G'day, Robbie F's daughter. I'll try not to swear too much. I think Robbie F will have a few words with me if I break out the MFs and the C bombs. Unsubscribe. Too much drama here. Bye. What? What? Too much drama here. What drama? Eric, put your fucking big boy pants on, you pissant. Fuck off then. There are also relays that can work directly off 120 volts AC and don't have internal rectification. I don't know how the fuck they would work. Directly off 120 volts AC. Well, there would just be an AC coil there, Gooden. I mean, you know, you can get AC, like, you know, solenoids that work fine. Like when you get the industrial electromagnets that pick up bits of steel and whatever at the scrapyard, I assume they work on AC. I don't know what you're on about, Alex. It's produced what? Dang her dust. Dang it. What? I missed something there. The H&K GMD 40 has been stellar since the advice you gave me, especially around the guitars and the send through spurious noise. Oh, excellent. What, you pulled it apart and fixed it, Pete? Had it for sale but withdrew it, not for sale now. Oh, cool. So you fixed it up. Awesome. Interesting, Brad. So I can get a higher current non-mechanical relay that can be controlled by a signal from a controller. Yeah, well that's higher current non-mechanical relay. So a solid state relay is what you're after there, Robbie. So yeah, that's what you want. You can just, there are different ways of driving them. I'm not sure what the gate current is on them. I think it's like minuscule, right? So you can drive them directly from like a microcontroller, which is kind of why they developed them. So you can drive these big heavy AC loads with a solid state relay and no moving parts, which is, that's the name of the game really. That's what you want. You said you ordered it. Maybe I was just thinking about ordering it, Pete. I say a lot of things. Look up shaded pole AC relay. It should explain the shading pole circulated magnetic energy through the zero. I don't know what we're talking about here. Look up small batch bourbon. Yeah, Booker's, Baker's, Basil Hayden's. Yeah, Basil Hayden's so far has been my go-to because it's good price point. Basil Hayden's, you'll wake up on the floor the next day wondering what happened. No, Basil Hayden's is actually a regular that I got in the cupboard for a bourbon. Brad, I was referring to a blind ham radio operator who bought parts from me to build simple circuits, but he assembled and soldered it himself. Probably had someone else look. Ah, okay, right. Black Eyed Peas, no drama, no drama. There is no drama. What drama is everyone talking about? Dangerous. Oh. Dangerous. Anyone have a clue how the mains are dealt with on a spinning stage? I don't know, Lou. That's a good question, actually. I guess how many times does it spin? Uh, I'd assume there'd be some kind of industrial fitting you could get that would have like a commutated rotating contact for various purposes, like rigging and whatever. I mean, when it comes to industrial, like, you've got those articulated arms, right? The CNC things. Surely they don't have, flexi cables. There's probably some that do, that are limited to a certain degree, but I'd say there's some that are continuously rotatable, and I guess they would have some sort of commutator, like copper rings or whatever, and carbon brushes, just like a drill, but without breaks in it, just a constant ring. I've seen a bunch of big ass relays on DIN rails and CNC control. Never died fucking with them. Watching from Scotland. Always enjoy yours and Lyle's live chat. Enjoying an Ardmore and a Green King IPA. Love an Ardmore. Keep up the good work. So the Ardmore. That is actually hard to find here now. For a while there, it was really good value. It was like 60 something bucks. 68 to 70 bucks, something like that. And now it's just nowhere. So that sucks. That was one of my go-tos as well. It was only 40%, but it was good value. Pete Moore, the Ultra channel and the GMD 40, awesome. And the clean channel is all I use. I'm actually porting the controller panel to Linux. Yeah, porting the controller panel to Linux. Sorry, just clarify for me, Pete, what you're talking about there. Control panel, is there like a USB link on those things where you can control it on a computer? Is that what you're referring to? What's going to happen to this 1959 back to stock? No, it's Max, it's on its way out. I'll just replace that relay now. It's all good. I was just giving it another test this morning after testing it last night. Jim Cox Drama Fund, 10 bucks. I don't know what drama. Can someone clarify what drama Eric was talking to, or is he just drunk again? Oh, Eric's just fucking with me. Righto, Eric. Sorry. You got me. Fucking Eric. I do see you, Eric, on the forums, and I see you get a little bit spicy with people, and I do respect it. I thought you were getting spicy with me. I found you and Lyle on YouTube about the same time. It was sweet seeing you guys connect a couple of years later on YouTube. Yeah. I think that occurred because we've got plenty of mutual friends, and it probably occurred on Facebook, to be honest, to start out, because we were really active in the some of the repair groups, and as I was becoming more active online, Lyle was still sort of doing his best to help people out where he could, but the groups really hit a critical mass during like COVID and lockdown and stuff, because everyone was sitting at home on the computer more than they were before. So a whole bunch of people flooded in that have no business really in a guitar amp, to be honest. It's not me being gatekeepery or elitist or anything, but what it is they didn't want to learn. They just wanted to fix their amp, right? They just wanted it done for free, cheap. So they wanted people to handhold them while they fix it, but they had no desire to learn electronics or get into it. At the end of the day, when you've got a problem with the amp, you've got to ask yourself two questions. Oh, well, one question, two answers. If I want to fix my amp, do I want to embark on a lifelong hobby or career in electronics repair? Or do I just want my amp to work for tomorrow's gig? Or, next weekend's gig. If it's the latter, just go to a tech. If it's the former, we're going to help you out, and it'll be great. It'll be fun. It's exciting, and it's awesome. But if you just want the thing to work again, you may get lucky and repair it. You could kill yourself in the process. You could destroy your amp. You could do so much damage that you are going to be hit with a massive quote, or just no one will want to look at it because you've done so much damage they're just not interested. Sometimes stuff comes in such a bad condition that sure, I could do it, and sure, everything's got a price, but I just don't want to. And like, it's that bad, and it would require that much work. And there's going to be so many complications that it's just unenjoyable, to be honest. I learned that a while back when I asked about a repair to my Mitsubishi Express, and the bloke looks at the van and just goes, "Nah." I go, "What? What do you mean, nah?" He goes, "Oh, I don't want to." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't want to. It's not. I don't want to do that." I'm like, "Okay." So that's when I sold the van to the wreckers and got a Hi-Ace instead. Bloody Mitsubishi. Presumably uses a heavy-duty commutating armature with slip rings or brushes. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Gooden. It's probably that. Solid state components are easier to waterproof with Scotch coat. Scotch coat? Is that like a conformal coating meant for electronics, Robbie? By the way, you have just the right amount of drama. To the rest of them, read the yellow neon sign behind you. Yeah, it's a bit out of focus, so I've got to stop the aperture down a bit. I like 4 roses for old-fashioned and Manhattans. Please tone down the drama. Oh, no, it's going to be a running joke now. It's going to be like the most innocuous videos, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, it's too much drama for me, too much drama." We just started a running joke, god damn it. What's your biggest online order fail? Always a few of them. I may have ordered 50 rolls of cable instead of 50 meters. Oh, surely you looked at the overall. Hey, Max Powers, look, if you looked at the price and it didn't set off any alarm bells, that means you got a damn good price on that cable, so I'd just take it and sell it on. At Brad's Guitar Garage, I sent the 2-parter on their amp to a mate of mine. 2-parter. That was the Grandmaster, yeah. I mean, look, Peter, to be honest, they're actually pretty reliable amps, the Grandmaster and the Tubemeister series. Look, they are well designed and they are well engineered. I'm softening my stance a bit on that stuff these days because I'm not seeing a lot of failures of them. They are a pain to take apart and they are difficult to test while they're disassembled, which is kind of what you got to do to have access to the relevant points to take measurements. But looking at the schematic and looking at the way they've built it, they're kind of good for what they are. Like, you can tell the marketing team was like, it needs this, and it needs this, and it needs this, and this, and this. And then the engineer's like, oh, fuck, okay. But engineers love constraints. If you give an engineer an unlimited budget and unlimited, they do dumb shit like build the Juicero. But if you give them constraints, that's when they actually do beautiful work. And, they do sound okay. A little bit brittle, but that's part of the EL84 output stage and probably the smaller than average output transformer. But I haven't seen any like catastrophic failures on them. The only things I've really seen is spontaneous failure on an EL84. It happens all the time. And then because it's got the MOSFETs and stuff in the tail of the cathode to switch it on and off for the power scaling and the silent mode, it just takes out those MOSFETs. They get hit with too much current, too much voltage, and they just turn into a blob of silicon. So once you pull it apart and replace them, I've found that sometimes it takes out, depending on if it's melted to the gate as well, it'll throw that high voltage back into the driver transistor, maybe take it out. But I think from memory, there's a gate resistor which goes open circuit on those MOSFETs for that reason. The only thing that freaks me out a bit is if that voltage makes its way back to the microcontroller, well, the whole board will be stuffed then. So, but yeah, back to Max Powers. The biggest online order fail. So yeah, I've done the 10,000 thing as well. Where was I? I was at a joinery shop and I ordered, what was it? I think it was draw runners. And yeah, another zero. Like I ordered 100 instead of 10, and they were like $80 draw runners too. They were the Blum Movento or whatever they were called, in TiVo. The swanky metal-sided drawers anyway. And it turned up on a pallet. They ended up returning it, but got a restocking fee. Put so much money through them, they shouldn't have even given us a restocking fee. I think that's pretty unfair, considering we probably put over $1 million through them a year. In terms of the shop, probably just ordering wrong form factor components, like capacitors of the wrong lead spacing. Just forgetting to order shit. That's probably the biggest one. Ordering stuff and then the owner doesn't go ahead with the job, which is super annoying. That's why I take money for parts up front now. It's not because I'm got no cash flow. It's because I'm locking you into that part. And if you don't go ahead with the repair, well, congratulations. Here's the part. It's yours now. Do what you want with it, but you've paid for it, and I'm not giving you your money back. I bought Merlin's Designing Tube Preamps book to learn the channel switching, but I haven't got to that chapter yet. It's a great book. You'll enjoy it. Probably the reason you haven't got to it yet is because the rest of the book's so interesting. So you end up reading chapters multiple times, and it's got a good writing style in that respect. The good old days of $60 single malt or sour the over. It's fucking ridiculous how much it is now, man. It's like some of them have like literally doubled since 2020. It's just gouging at this point, I think. There is tax increases in Australia too, which is horse shit. Think about a Leslie speaker or spinning light. Yeah, Leslie. A lot of Leslie's are done with the spinning horn though, not the actual speaker, but there are ones with the speaker, like the Yamaha crazy things that they did. Leslie spin on a slotted cheese wheel. Your mum spins on a slotted cheese wheel. But I think there's some spin the actual high frequency drivers. Alright. Eric's laughing, so we're at the point where he's fucked with me. Sorry, Eric. Love you. I've known you for a while, mate. I thought that was out of field. That's why I got the shits. What are the mods on this thing? Jose, gain stage, and master. Just two cascaded gain stages in front of... I haven't traced out the whole thing. I think I might have, but it'd be filed away now because I looked at it last about a year ago. But I think it might be like the one I did not long ago, because there was a few in short succession, all of which have had an extra valve installed. I think this one was similar to the other one I did, where it's basically a JCM 800 on one channel and a 1959 unaffected on the other. Extra gain stage there because there's too much stuff to switch if you just try and do it with the existing valves, even though they've got the same amount of preamp valves. GMD 40 software. I'll get it released. I'm releasing shit software. That's good. I'm releasing shit amps. Not really. That's awesome, Peter. Flick me an email if you got that, because that'd be really cool to see. I want to fire up a just a test PC in the garage with Linux and stuff on it, Linux, however you pronounce it, just to keep my toe in the water there. I choose a lifelong option. Been building and repairing amps for 5 years now. Good man. I love the challenge even when something is kicking my ass. Yeah, well, eventually, like I said, every problem's a brick wall. Just grab that sledgehammer and start whacking. If there's one thing we know about on this channel, it's whacking. So if I wanted a foot switch with a Leslie motor, needs direct AC mains connection, what type of relay should I be looking for? To just turn it on and off, pretty much any relay would work. You just need to look at the current rating, man. So generally relays are happier with AC than DC. So you'll note this one, it'll take 240 volts at 5 amps AC, but it'll only take 20 volts DC at 5 amps. Same current, massively different voltage. Because DC, it arcs after its broken connection, and it needs to quench that arc with either an air gap, or in the case of some changeover switches and stuff in the electrical industry, they blast them with compressed air to blow the arc out. So yeah, the breaking DC is a lot more difficult because it doesn't pass through 0 volts 100 times a second. Good to see you, by the way, Rob French. Brad Drama. Back when I was an apprentice, I swapped over a faulty push-pull switch in my combo. Easy enough, but I didn't note how the ribbon cables were connected. Ooh. I took a punt. The bang was impressive. Ooh, yeah. Whoops. How you going, Pete, by the way? I hope the Ampeg's treating you well. Eric Filsinger leads us. Brad Karma, Brad Drama. Scotch coat is this amazing coating that keeps the circuit board safe even when under 10 plus meters of water. Is that like that silicon stuff? It's like a silicon, clear silicon gel that you see on like the KRK monitors and stuff on the PCBs. Well, after generation 3 anyway. Broken amp comes in. This amp is being dramatic. True, Basil. Basil! Ah, look up Kylie Minogue and Nick Cave, The Wild Roses. Nick Cave's new stuff is pretty good. I've been listening to that. Some stuff I can do, other stuff happy to keep techs like Brad in a job. Thanks, Pete. Lion Circle, $20. Legend. I don't know if I can help you with this one, though. Can you teach us how to sound like a professional guitarist with minimal effort? Well, yeah. Get really good at playing rhythm guitar. That's the one thing that shits me about review channels, and the thing I cop shit for as well. I'm primarily a rhythm player. I'm not a lead wanker. Fucking 98% of the time you're playing rhythm, aren't you? So get your rhythm chops good, get your timing right, and that's all the majority of people give a shit about. Everyone loves a guitar wanky solo, but at the end of the day, 97% of your time spent playing lead, locking in with the rhythm section. So, and playing the correct chords. That's a massive difference. How many times have you gone, I'm guilty of this, I'm a shit guitarist, I know, I admit it. I don't have enough time to practice. I play like maybe 1 hour max a week. It's bullshit. It's work every week, right? So, how many times have you gone to see a cover band or a acoustic duo or soloist at like a bar or a brewery or whatever, and they're playing a popular song, like a folksy type or just a, you know, like a, I don't know, in the States, like a Tom Petty song or something, and they're sort of there, but there's something not right. And then you look at the chords they're playing, and they're nothing like the actual chords. They're just playing like a bar chord instead of this, you know, complex chord that was in the actual song. So I think learning the actual proper chords is a big one, instead of just playing a minor or major in the same root note. Eric's tracing down his issue on my 1968 Princeton Reverb. Replaced the can cap, bypass caps, and plate resistors. Turned out to be a bad 5751. Bam! That was only noisy in that amp. Well, you know, things like that happen, Eric. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. When it comes to hiss, probably the first thing I'd be looking at is a valve. So I've just got my known good 12AX7 here, 12AT7. So I know that that's one of the quietest valves I've got. It's actually a Tube Amp Doctor 12AX7WA-R. And I've found them to be the quietest 12AX7s in my entire inventory consistently, which is good, because I've had issues with their power output valves, I should say. But yeah, the first thing to do is the valves. Just change them out one by one, see if there's any difference. Usually at the front end is where you get it. But I've had phase inverters hissing as well. You never quite know. There's so many weird failure modes. It can be the fault of just a preamp valve. They put them in a socket for a reason, so you can change them out quickly and easily. So do that first. I'd slap myself on the wrist if I don't. Next thing is the plate resistors. It's the most common source of that kind of thing. Hissing. Plate resistors tend to, in the Fender, say the Hot Rod Blues series, those carbon films they use in there, the half-watt carbon film things are terrible quality, and they they either go completely open circuit or hiss and pop and crackle. So I just change them by default now whenever I've got one in. What's a couple of 50-cent resistors. So yeah, that's the next thing. The other thing with hiss can be about op amp. Bad design, like messes hiss because they've got a massive resistor in series. So if you've got a high resistance in series with a high impedance line, you're going to add a lot of noise. You try to reduce the resistance in series with your signal where possible, at least earlier in the stream. And if you can't, due to the circuit design, so say a reverb mix resistor, go with a metal film. Higher power rating is less noisy as well. So if you go like a 1 watt or a 2 watt, I use those Vishay and Yagio metal films. They're a 1/4 watt sized resistor, but they're 1 watt rated. So I use them by default for plate resistors and reverb mix. Sorry, reverb mix, you've got to use a quarter watt because think about the voltage required to dissipate a watt across 3.3 meg. It's like, what is that, 3, 4, 5,000 volts? No math in my head today, but point being is the resistors are massive because they have that higher voltage rating. That's actually, speaking of stupid shit you've ordered, it's a good segue onto when I accidentally ordered these resistors. So I had the parameters set for the resistors I wanted. Where did I put them? I didn't throw them out, did I? Surely not. But then I changed the resistance to 3.3 meg. And what I got sent then was kind of comical. But I'll put them away or something. What have I done with them? Oh, there they are. So you know your reverb mix resistor, a little 1/4 watt thing in your typical Fender amp. So I was buying resistors, buying them en masse, and then I just changed the resistance to 3.3 meg, 1 watt, and then I got sent these. Because you think about what kind of voltages would be required to dissipate 1 watt across a 3.3 meg resistor, you end up with a pretty big air gap there. Because resistors actually have a voltage rating as well, which sounds a bit silly, but you'd think that would be defined by the power dissipation and the resistance, right? Because it's just Ohm's law. And in this case, the 1 watts were massive. So what I was actually after was like that size, 1/4 watt size. That's a 1/2 watt in 1/4 watt size, which is good. So they're probably my go-to, Yagio. For the 3.3 megas, they're doing them in 4.7 as well. Previously I was using these ones, which I believe 1/4 watt, which they're adequate. I'd want to go metal film every time. But these little ones here are 1/2 watt as well, slightly bigger body. So slightly longer leads too for some of the funny layouts that Fender have done. That's bad grammar. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use them for. I could put them in series and make a high voltage probe or something, I guess. Massive high voltage probe. Don't know. I'll come up with some silly purpose for them. But yeah, I think we both know that those, I'll die at the age of 88 miles an hour with them still in my stash. And someone will be like, what the fuck did he order them for? So there you go, Eric. I paid you back for going off at you by giving you a long-winded reply that I normally reserve for no one. I once bought 2,000 UF 4007s. Can you send some of them to me, Alex? I've only got 25 of them. That's the other thing I'll do today. I'll take that transformer off and send it to you. Wise words, but I've seen amps come to you from so-called techs, and the good ones I know are retired. So are you in Sydney there, Martin? I thought you were in the States. I'm sure people will see work I've done and go, what the fuck was he doing? It happens. I try not to be too hard on techs, but when you get like a week where literally 4 amps have come in from the same tech, like from people that have just abandoned them, it's just disheartening, man. Or some bloke has done a flurry of repairs and I don't know, just like thinks that you just have to do this one thing and it just fixes all amps, but there's no diagnosis. It's very disheartening and frustrating having to undo other work before doing actual work. Like I was a drama major. He was too. Yeah. I'd love to see Lyle do some like develop on his you know, his drama history and stuff and get back into it again. I reckon that'd be so cool. I'd like to do like Monty Python skits with him. He'd be the straight man, I'd be the idiot. As is normally the case. Peter Moore, I did it with MIDI debugging on the GMD 40 all SysX. Okay, which is fine. And yes, my Chinese, yeah, EL84's died, got Slovakians in there now. That's the way to go. JJ's at the moment is sort of my go-to for everything. We've tested their 6L6s and EL34s. And their emission is fantastic, whereas all the tube amp doctor stuff was coming up at like 40, 50, 60%, what you'd expect in terms of emission. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about tube amp doctor all around. Alan Farmer, morning, Brad. Did you see me offer you the original 6 original input jacks for that AC30? Sorry, Alan, didn't I respond to that? I think I might have. Check your junk mail if it's gone there, but no, it's the jacks of. I don't think he's too worried about that. The originality of that thing's far from original, so I think the input jacks are the least of our worries. But you know, if that was required, like I'd just use Cliff off the shelf. It's UK. Jacks are considered something that you should be replacing if they start to fail. They break through the plating. There's nothing you can do about it. Having the original input jacks is just we'll leave that for the museum pieces, not the playing amps, but yeah. We discussed that. I'll get the actual brand if you want. I will take the cover off and get it drilled a la Bugera T50 Infinium if I have, which never lets me down. What are we talking about there? The patent drilling. Sorry, the chat's a bit disparate today. That's okay. Try buying a pint of beer here in New Zealand. It's $15. Yeah, it's the same here, Pete. About $15 for a pint. But sometimes I just like drinking a pint. Sorry, wallet. Jumped on me every time I scroll down to the next comment. YouTube chat forces it all the way to the bottom. And then you scroll back up to where you were. You can read 2 or 3 comments and scroll down to the next comment. And then it takes you all the way to the bottom again. It's been like that for 10 years. And they've never fixed it. And they never will. Just like Messenger doesn't work on my business platform anymore unless I do it on the mobile app. So I can't respond to people's questions. Or it shows me responding to it. You spend all the time typing out a thoughtful response. You press enter and it shows you reply. And then you refresh the page and your response just isn't there. You just spend all that time wasting your time. So I'm thinking about just deleting Facebook, honestly. It's a shit platform. It's getting worse every year. And it's just not usable anymore. It's gotten so bad that it's just not fit for purpose. Or at least disabling the messaging ability, because they can just contact me through the website contact form, because that filters out the bots too, which Facebook chat doesn't. I ordered 114 watt Koa resistors from Mouse. I didn't check the size. They were like sesame seeds. That's all right. They work for pedals, and if they're quarter watt, they're quarter watt, eh? Merlin's designing preamps and power amps book is great. Books are great. His hi-fi book is really good and actually dives a bit further into theory, which is good. So that's worth a read as well. I got his power supply one as well, which is good. Boost prices and taxes are nuts. It's cheaper to buy an imported spirit than an Australian-made one. Yeah, government just banned local distillers over their own barrels for reaming. There's a couple of Aussie ones that are decent, Pete, like Starwood do the twofold. You can get that for about $75 a bottle. Used to be like 59. Archie Rose has some really nice ones around the $100, $110 range, and they've got some under that. I think just like $100 is about as cheap as they go. Their rum cask was really good, but I think that was a limited release. I wish the rum casks would be a constant thing, but I guess sourcing the casks is probably difficult. Shipping them from friggin' Guatemala or wherever the fuck they come from. Do you get many amps coming in with crackling noise and it's actually the owner's guitar jack cable? Yes, all the time. And it's very frustrating because they refuse to look at their other equipment. I'll say, look, just do me a favor. Make sure it's not your cables. Oh, yeah, it's not the cables. Like, how do you know that? Like, what did you do? Oh, I tested with another cable. I'm like, okay, have you tested that cable on another amp? Oh, I don't have another amp. All right, can you bring them in? Oh no, they're packed away. It's like, oh my god, are you trying to make it impossible for me? So they bring the amp in. I charge them a bench fee. Put it on the bench. There's like nothing at all wrong with it. Go over everything. Just return it. No fault found. And you know, they bring it back, and by the third time or something, I say, look, you've got to bring your cables. I'm not looking at it at all, not even letting it in the door until you bring all your other equipment. And then it turns out it's a speaker jack on the speaker cab, or it's the fucking output jack on the guitar or something. So yeah, it's just, they seem very hesitant to actually work with me to get to the root of the problem, and it's very frustrating because it sucks time. It like stresses everyone involved out because they feel like they're not getting listened to, and I feel like I'm not getting listened to. Yeah, that's very difficult. There's no real way to resolve that, I don't think, easily and quickly. What can I do to make a DSL-40CR less bright? Well, you could try turning the treble down. You could try another speaker. If it's brightness on the overdrive, you could try putting an EQ in the effects loop, like a graphic EQ pedal or something. You could try turning your tone control on your amp down if it's in the clean, on your guitar down if it's in the clean. I think that's my wife. I left my phone at home. Phone home. Hang on. I thought she might have brought me another coffee. Oh well. Hard to find good help, champions. So yeah, there's multiple things to do there. It's like people, I don't know. It's not saying anything against you, Brian, but I get a lot of people saying my amp's too loud. I'm like, it's a master volume amp. Turn the master volume down. And they're like, oh yeah, but it's still too loud. I'm like, the master volume goes to 0, you know, right? It's very hard to get out of them because they sort of trail off and they don't acknowledge your answer. It's just turn it down. I think what they're trying to tell me, and they just struggle to articulate it, is they like the sound of it when it's cranked, but they want that sound when it's quiet. Now you kind of can't because it's Fletcher Munson curves and whatever. It's partially it's a physiological thing, hearing loud sound. So you sort of, you just can't. It's not a, yeah. I enjoyed the two-parter you did with that mess of boogie. Love your honesty. Not enough people like you out there. Think fuck for that, Peter. If there were more people like me out there, imagine what the whiskey prices would do. Jesus. A bottle of Ardbeg 10 would be $300. Richard Morgan, I did much the same in order to pile a surface mount 2N5008s instead of TA92. Yeah. You know what? Off the top of my head, I know exactly where a bag of TN5088s in TO92 are. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got him. Five seconds. So, years ago, I got these these little handy PCBs from Tater. I don't know if they do them anymore. Little boosters. Chuck them in a guitar on a switch, and you got a little boost there to drive the front end. This is their documentation. Now, bear in mind, this is just Tater Electronics, right? I'll just bring down my exposure a bit. Manuel. Bring down Iris. Come on, Iris. Come down for a cuppa. So, power booster. They're the little circuit boards. Cute little things. Mount the pot directly on it. It just hangs off the pot. Designated components. Really good documentation. They teach you like how to build it like a noob. LED diodes. Enclosure and wiring. Great little guides, man. So that's just from Tater Electronics. Tater Kits. www.taterkits.com. Extremely cheap. Like, these boards are like 80 cents each. Ridiculous. But I always have a couple of them floating around in case someone wants some mod, some extra boost thing. And I ordered the the 2N5088s from them as well. I agree, the longer videos are great. Well, I very much appreciate that, and I agree. I prefer doing the longer videos because there's not a lot you can hit in the shorter videos in terms of, you know, stuff you've observed and whatever. They just don't do as well on the views. 15-20 minutes is where it's at. I kind of don't care, but I kind of want to see the channel grow, you know? I'd like to see 10,000 subs by the end of the year. I don't know, maybe that's not... Maybe I'm thinking the wrong way and I should think the way I've always thought, where I just do it for the hell of it. I don't know. It just sometimes feels better when you're doing it to a bigger audience. I don't know. What do you reckon, legends? Should I just nuke my whole channel and just start again with 300 subscribers and just to remember what it's like in the good old days? Or should I keep battling on, you know? Actually making a little bit of money from this channel is helpful, you know? Like, there's a lot of time spent on this and it is a hobby, but it's hard to justify a hobby in today's world if you're not getting anything from it, monetarily wise. A hobby used to just be something for self-satisfaction, but with the cost of living so high these days, you kind of need to justify every action you do financially these days, and it sucks, but it's the reality of it. Remember, Brad, I'm from Melbourne, just happen to live these days in Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah. You know, a great New Zealand whiskey there, Peter. Pocino. I don't know how you pronounce it. Pocino. Whatever it is. Fantastic whiskey. Very good. I think there's multiple ones, but that's the one I've had, and I was very impressed. I've also made the lead spacing order on mistake on radial caps. Yeah, when you've got small radial caps, like, you know, 100 volt less, 100 microfarad and less, you can just make the leads work, but when you're doing the big can caps and that, they've got to be bang on, especially if they're snap-ins. There's been a few times, particularly for the vintage hi-fi stuff, when the caps were massive back in the 80s and 70s. The new stuff's half the size for the same value, and you can't get anything that big anymore. So sometimes you literally got to drill another hole in the PCB just to fit the new lead spacing, and hopefully that lands on the big fat trace that you can just scrape back the solder mask and solder to. Sometimes you got to anchor shit and run wires, but good fun. You can also put a spark arrestor across relay contacts. They were commonly used on on-off switches on 70s and 80s solid state hi-fi, but generally not seen on guitar amps. Spark arrestor, really? I guess that'll work, yeah, or anything to take down the flyback. I assume that you'd still get a bit of an arc even with that, because it'd only break down at like 90 volts, I guess like a neon tube would work too. You can use neons for arc arresting in valve amps too. Have a look on valvewizard.com and .co.uk or whatever it is, and Merlin's books where he talks about spark arresting or arc mitigation with neons. Joe, how you going, fella? These chats are getting good. It's getting to the point where I can just chat instead of work. I used to just work because there wasn't enough chat to sustain chat. Ding. I'll learn words soon. Pete Moore, I'm the same. I was the rhythm guitarist in a successful covers band in Melbourne in the late 80s, 90s. For a laugh, 3 RRR subscriber funded FM radio show had a show called The Rhythm Method. Yeah. Don't rely on the rhythm method. Eric, there's $2. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for not making my folly into high drama. I think I'm gonna make you a moderator after that, Eric. You own me there. Brad's Guitar Garage t-shirt merch thought for you. Resistor is futile. Yeah, resistance is futile. Someone else is already making that t-shirt. I've seen people wearing it. I saw him at the Electro Next show. I saw someone wearing it, as well as Dave with his I only give negative feedback schematic t-shirt. I accidentally got some of those same huge resistors too. Was that the 3.3 megs, Rob? G'day, son. How you going, legend? Save the extra large resistors when you're working on a Messer. Well, the Messers need small ones because they're so jam-packed full of shit. It's an X-Parrot. Ministry of Silly Walks, yeah. I was always really self-conscious about like my walking gait when I was a teenager. I don't know what that was about. I think because bullies used to bash me for any reason they could find. Oh, look, he's walking funny. We've got a lot of chat happening. This is the most active the chat's ever been, I think. Well, now I've got my phone. I can set it up to look at is next to the camera lens. I don't like looking down at the screen, you know. I normally set my phone up here on the live chat and I can read the chat off there. It looks a bit nicer having me looking vaguely in the direction of the camera. Got this little thing the other day. It's just a USB output for the stupid audio these days. Like nothing's got a headphone jack unless you get a real phone like a Motorola or an HTC. But it's just so I can test like speakers and whatever and show people up the front of the shop, look, your mixer works, look, your powered speaker works. Because it was a pain in the ass having to rig the laptop or run a cable. So it's just so I can quickly plug in a phone and just play some signal and they go, oh yeah, it sounds good. Another Tim Waltz video. Seeing videos for there's a guy whose channel I wanted to share. I've been finding different channels to unwind to at the end of the day after I've done my paperwork at home and just sitting back. Often Michelle's at netball, so I should do something productive. I should read, but your brain's just fried by the end of the day, champions. So Sometimes you just need to sit there and veg out and watch something unrelated to work. So there's this guy I've been watching who's a motorcyclist. He rides a motorcycle. And Brett Joy, his name is. UK guy. He's like my twin. So I commented on one of his videos, my long lost brother. And he actually responded, which was cute. I'll try and find his channel and share it to you, because he tours. He's in the UK at the moment. He's a Pomish git, and everyone's releasing videos this morning. AVE, Vosh, Forgotten Gear Restorations, bloody you name it. Tim Walls. I've been also watching Anthony Bourdain. I've only just got into him recently. But yeah, his videos are fantastic. Massive loss with him. He's such a fucking cool guy. Well, portrays himself as. Where's my channel? Subscriptions. The other thing I've been watching is 367 Collins Street Falcons. So there's a ledge in Melbourne where they set up a camera, and when the falcons lay their eggs of the year, they start streaming, and then you can watch them bring up their chicks. The eggs haven't hatched yet, but it's getting close. Okay, I'm subscribed to too many channels. My God, there's like 200. Maybe I should have a clean out. History, maybe? Anyone? There he is. Brett Joy. Videos. Copy. Go over here and paste. Check his channel out. It's good stuff. Oh, Lyle's with us. I'll just catch up with the chat. Oh, you're just talking about drilling holes in the in the GMD40 for ventilation. I wouldn't stress too much about that, Pete, but yeah, it is kind of an enclosed box though, isn't it? It's got ventilation slots, I think, on the pressed steel back. Ministry of Silly Walks. I do like the band Ministry. The auto-scrolling thing does indeed suck. Yes, it does. It intends... You're only supposed to read every second, every third, every 10th comment. But when you actually want to read every one, it's hard. They don't want you to. They want you to just be in the moment, you know, live streamer. I deleted Facebook 13 years ago. It's 13 years about when I got on it. Been in New Zealand 10.5 years. All my family, etc., want me back on Facebook. Yet it's hard. Everyone's become used to Facebook being the standard communication protocol. No one wants to send emails, and emails sort of have this negative sort of connotation to them, like, I just got an email. It's like annoying. Whereas you get a message from a family or friend, family member or friend on Facebook, and it's sort of like, hey, it's more instant, you know. Hey, testing level. Am I clipping there? Hey. I practice negative FB, no X or Twitter. Yeah, X is a shithole. It's useless. It's just bots. X. Why would I fucking call it X? Fucking retard. I shouldn't say that word. Dumbass. I think it's becoming clearer every day that Elon Musk is just a fucking idiot. Never been on Facebook. Yeah, I still have my MySpace account. Yeah, awesome. I honestly think people are going to go back to MySpace because they're jacked up of the fucking constant bullshit on all the other majors. Same, same login and password. Wow. I thought it actually shut down for a while, Pete. Was MySpace live this whole time? I never had one. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a bit addicted to Facebook for my daily meme and fail vids. Endorphin hit. Oh, come on, man. Plus, you really need it for advertising and getting gigs and band contacts. Yeah, there's got to be a better alternative, though. But nothing ever hits critical mass. Brad, do you get customers that come for strings or equipment? Well, yeah, I've got a shop. So that's why I have a shop. So people can buy strings and equipment. Probably only sell like a dozen sets of strings a week or something. Every now and then you sell an amp or a powered speaker or something like that. Oh man, all of life is less, and I sold a few pedals because I made shit cables. I feel for them. I would listen to a tech though. Yeah. The biggest problem with the cables is they put the a lot of brands put the black conductive rubber on the inside to stop the triboelectric effect. Ooh, which is actually almost touching on this one. So you need to cut that back before you solder it. This is an off-the-shelfer, I think, and they didn't strip it back. Silly. I might redo that. Just show you. So if you look here, you've got like a black sheath. Then underneath you got your usual sort of clear one. So that black one's actually conductive. Oh fuck! Stabbed my arm with a set of tweezers. So you need to peel that stuff off so it's not touching the hot contact, because it'll act like a significant value resistor to ground. It'll suck your signal out. It should look like that, and that's the Canary. I think the Megami's the same. Various other brands have it as well. It's to stop the handling noise of your cable with high gain. Lou Woods, if you made a high watt clone, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I will have a power station by this time next year. If I was to make a high watt clone, or who? Brad's Guitar Garage over documented. I think you mean way of using software into an amp's effects loop, e.g. guitar rig, bias effects. Let me know if anyone wants to know. I wouldn't recommend this solution live. So, are you just using the power amp of a speaker, a power amp of an amplifier head? Because that's pretty common. You just plug into the effects return and you can just use the power amp and preamps out of the circuit. Oh yeah, you clarified your was. In Scotland, Brad played Fenders for 40 years, never once had a fault, retired now, but ended up with Soldano combo, never a problem in the last few years. Well, old Fenders and Soldanos are about as reliable as you get, Martin, as long as you maintain them. The older ones are going to need recaps soon if they haven't already. And you've seen the problems on my channel with the 70s Fenders and their conductive boards and whatnot. The biggest threat to vintage Fenders is technicians that don't know what they're doing. Just had a bass amp cutting out. It turned out to be a broken battery connector on my bass. There you go, Juan. The other common thing with bass amps cutting out is just the protection relay contacts going funky. Lyle, how you going, legend? You can recreate Fletcher Munson at lower volumes, carry around a 15-inch per second 2-inch tape machine, a Fairchild, and Neva, maybe a nice crunchy EQ. Yeah, not a problem. Just fit it in your backpack. I am better, but still 10 cans. I get 10 cans in, Gast. Good on ya. It is Friday night over there. Hey Brad, I'm going to try to design a stereo deluxe memory man with microcontroller unit and an analog clock for the modulation. Didn't know you could use a diode as a variable capacitor. Well, neither did I. I'll have to look into that. Use the diode as a variable. Well, I guess, yeah, if you change the You probably do it with a FET too, I guess. If you're changing the I forget the name, the depletion region. I'm gonna have to pull my books out. I told you I'm a janitor with a soldering iron. Every time I need to do stuff like that, I have vague ideas of a concept of what I'm trying to think of, but then I pull out the textbooks and fill in the gaps. It's all about knowing which textbook and which chapter to read. I shall soon have coffee, at which point I shall be well. Affiliate links for parts may be legend. Ooh. Yeah, that's... yeah. Does anyone else have affiliate programs other than Amazon, though? Because fuck Amazon and the horse they rode in. I hate Amazon. I never use them for anything, and I wish they didn't exist. If DigiKey or Mouser gave me a sponsorship to do affiliate links to the products that I use in my amps, I'd be fucking very open to that, because it's things that I actually use. Like I've been approached by various like pedal companies in particular that want me to promote their product, and I said I've never even used it. Like, I don't use it, so why would I promote it? And they're like, oh, it's just a sponsorship deal. I'm like, yeah, but I don't use it, so what? It's just like when I watch some YouTubers and they're like, oh yeah, here's this politics, here's this world issue, or you know, this is how you make this camera work, or whatever. Oh, by the way, I use this pill before I go out and drink alcohol, and it makes me feel better in the morning. And I'm like, no, you don't. Well, I use these sheets; they're really good. They make you feel cooler at night. Like, you don't fucking use that. Bullshit. And they just bullshit. They lie to your face, and they use this thing. It's like, oh, I use this moisturizer. I don't give a fuck about moisturizer. I'm watching a show about PCB layout. But yeah, like pedals are more guitar related, but I'm still kind of unrelated because I don't really use pedals. Certainly don't during repair. But if it was something like, you know, fucking still waiting for my sponsorship from BOFA or Tektronix. Look, I've got both their stickers there. But if it was equipment, like if Pace wanted to sponsor me, fuck yeah. Hakko, fuck yeah. Even Quick with their, you know, or Rigol. I advertise the shit out of that stuff because I use it every day and it's great. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't. It just feels icky sponsoring something that's not something I use every day. Don't know. I suppose that's the way everyone's going. It's either that or show everyone your asshole on bloody OnlyFans, isn't it? So 100 people watching. Yeah, boys. Mainly boys. Some ladies. Sorry, ladies. Probably just mum. Mum, you know what? Mum is my longest time viewer because she was there from day one. Hi, Mum. That was back on Facebook, though. Actually, it would have been Dad's account because Mum only just recently got a Facebook. I don't know how she watched. Maybe she wasn't a subscriber, champions. Ooh. I think you're just asking for more drama. I can't remember what we were talking about then. Man, that messer was in bad shape you're working on, but I've been watching your older videos, man. You know your shit for sure. There's a difference between knowing your shit and knowing your shit. Depends on the apostrophe, I guess. Still shocked about the Lazy J. Didn't realise how shit they were. Have you read the comments, man? The cope. Oh, the fanboys. Probably some of them paid actors. Probably employees and people from dealerships that sell them. But yeah, nothing they said makes sense. They just embarrass themselves when they comment. Yeah, there was like a concerted, like synchronized effort to take those videos down. But I didn't say anything incorrect, and the local guy went off his rocker and just called me a horrible person and shit. I was like, whoa. I'm just talking about the insides of an amp, and now I'm a horrible person. I'm dishonest. I'm showing you what's in front of my face. Like, the reason he thinks I'm dishonest is because he thinks that I like went out of my way to fuck the amp up before doing the video. Like mental illness. Guy needs to move out of his parents' basement. Fucking idiot. Oh, if I see him at a gig, I'll, you know, take it A and, Hi. Scare the fuck out of him. Whoops, accidentally pressed stuff on Lou. What? Paste it, Pocino. Pocano. Oh, hang on, I'll find it. Pocano. Oh, for fuck's sake. Pocano. Here we go. Wrong screen. There we go. Oh, did you accidentally kick Lou out, Alex? Sorry, Lou. Phew. The old fat finger thing. Just deleted your response. I followed a channel that did a long live and then what? Hang on, did a long live and then cut the best 10-minute section of reels to make short videos through the week. Yeah, well, that's what I've started doing, JC now. Justin now. So the shorts you've been seeing have been pulled from other videos or live streams. I've even produced some of the videos from live streams and no one seems to have complained about it yet. But what that allows me to do is do a live stream like this, but subconsciously divide it up into segments, which I haven't been doing today because we've just been chatting. But that means I don't have to produce as much content and I don't have to film as much content and I can produce multiple videos and shorter stuff to pull people in out of that content. I learned that from a couple of the political guys who do that. They do a big long live stream and then they cut it up into segments and then post the segments as separate edited videos and then cut them up into even shorter 30, 60 second shorts, and then that pulls a lot of people in. So part of the reason the Mesa video did well comparatively for my channel, it was like 6,000 views or something. I'm still a small channel, champions. But the reason it did okay is because I had made a bunch of shorts off it that actually referred to that video in the description and the link that pops up when you click a short, and then people go, oh, this is interesting, I'll watch the whole video. So I've got to try and keep doing that, but it's very hard when you... So the primary objective here is to repair the amp, right? Everything else comes second, and making videos, it's too much cognitive load to be really switched on with your video making because it draws a bit of attention away from the amp, and I can't have that. So at the moment, it's like I'm just doing the best I can with the videos, but I'm trying not to stress about it because I've got too much on my plate how it is. Sorry, Lou, I fell asleep and was pressing buttons. You alright, Alex? You've been up all night again? Man, I'm so behind on chat. Never been this behind on chat before. Instead of saying retard, just say Elon. Let's make that a thing. You're such an Elon. I am way behind. Shit. Okay, I'm only just caught up to where I posted the Brett Joy comment. Justice for Lou. Okay, that's where I was. So Alex fell asleep. G'day, Yeatsy. How you going, legend? What's going on? What's going on, champion? I'm going to do resistance is utile. Or buy it, but they will have good vocabularies. Brad's Guitar Garage. Would you rather have 25k subscribers, most of them who don't actually participate or only talk shit on here, 10k who actually appreciate? Well, obviously 10k that actually appreciate it, but I've got 10k, approaching 10k, I should say. But I still only see, what, maybe 50 of your comments. So there's a lot of people that watch. A lot of people just couldn't be asked commenting, but it doesn't mean it's still not entertaining them. Like, there's a lot of stuff I watch that I don't comment on. Probably the majority of stuff I watch I don't comment on. I only comment on the champions that I know, you know, personally on their channel, because I don't know, just sometimes I just like to be a fly on the wall too. Sometimes I'm watching a subject that I know fuck all about, and I'm literally watching it to learn about it. So my comments would be like, would detract from the subject material, because I'm not adding anything to it, because I don't know fuck all about it. I'm there to learn about it. So it's like sitting up the back of the class and just dutifully taking notes. EHX micro synth for guitar are fun. I'm making noises. They are fun, Lou. I had one of them in for a couple of slide pot replacements a while back, and yeah, I think I ended up sitting there playing it for about 20 minutes. I think they were 1.8 meg, trying to do a Lamar. Okay, so there's a lot of comments spread across a long range. So sometimes I don't know what you're talking about, but that's all good. We all met bullies, shame they stay with us. Yeah, but you know, you think about it, Gus, they're all on math and got like 15 kids now, so who cares? One of the guys who used to bully me early in school, I think we ended up sort of getting along towards the end, brought a guitar around, an acoustic shitbox nylon string, and he wanted the bridge replaced on it because it fell off. I'm like, yeah, it'll be about 120. He's like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm like, well, okay, well, here you go. And he's like, oh, can you just do it? And I'm like, no. He wanted it done for free because I knew him fucking 20 years ago and he was a cockhead back then. He's a cockhead now. But anyway, people are weird. But yeah, the fact that he couldn't pay $120 to get a bridge re-glued on an acoustic means that his life's not doing particularly well. So fuck him. Public humiliation of sleep pressing stuff in live chat. That's fine, Alex. That's what I love you for, mate. You work very hard. It's Saturday morning. It's chill out time. I don't think you drink coffee. Do you drink coffee? It's fine to fall asleep on your computer on your face. Lou understands. It's good. It's actually funny and endearing, so don't worry about it. I have a 1978 Fender P-Bass to refret. Should be fun. Did a bunch of work on the guitar 3 years ago. Talked the guy into replacing the bridge to a Babix, which is a very nice replacement. Yeah, I've put a few of them on. Yeah, doing a good old-fashioned refret sometimes is really therapeutic now. It used to be stressful, but now I sort of do it with my eyes closed. And compared to this bench, the electronics bench, the bench over there is much less stressful. It's actually sort of, yeah, it's kind of zen work now, working on guitars. Of course, I get a lot of horror shows with guitars and stuff that people have tried to repair too. I'll get this Marshall out of the way. I'll continue with the chat, but I'll just show you something. That Marshall can go back together. I've got one more guitar to finish for that bloke, and he can come pick them up. I think he's coming Monday. It's a good man, funny dude. So this Cole Clark came in. It's always a bit tricky doing guitars on this bench, but this Cole Clark FL1A came in. Someone has tried repairing it. So hack work is not just limited to amplifiers, champions. So these have a bridge. Can I sit that? Is it going to fall over? Yeah, probably. These have a bridge similar to the Maitons, which have a massive pickup under them. And the pickup is suspended with 2 screws. You can probably see down in there, someone's taken the bridge off and sanded it down to try and reduce the action, because these things have a Spanish heel, which means you can't reset the neck. Not easily, anyway. They've sanded it down to the point where they've removed the support structure for the pickup, so now the pickup just falls through, and the saddle just falls through. And it looks like they've glued it on with some sort of epoxy. So we've got a replacement bridge. I talked to Cole Clark and they were very good about it. Much better than Maton are about some stuff. Maton fucking hate me now because I just told people the truth about their saddles. It's the same problem with this, but the thing is their tops are thicker. I've seen some Matons with 2mm thick tops, and what do you think happens? It self-destructs. Hiccups. Awesome. So I got a new bridge because the
The machining on these is actually quite complex. They've got a bit of tape covering that now, but you've got to route and drill it from both sides. Everything's got to line up perfectly or it doesn't work. So I'd have to make this on a CNC, which is doable, but then you've got to carve it and you've got to finish it. And, you know, I think it was $80 for this. I would have probably spent 3 hours setting up, tooling it, and just buy the thing, replace it, right? So I've got to take that off, replace that. So putting a straight edge and extrapolating, you know, where it's going to land. The bridge is actually too low now, so that's good. That means when we put a proper bridge on there, the saddle will have decent height for brake angle, and everything will work. So anyway, the customer didn't abandon this, but he just said, it's too expensive. So I just gave him like a couple of hundred store credit, and I'll just fix that up in my own time and either keep it or sell it on. Yeah, the cold Clark stuff's okay, but yeah, you just got to bear in mind the Spanish heel and a crazy pickup. Right, let's carry on with the chat for a moment, and then I'll show you some other bits and pieces. Is that a segment? Could I make a segment out of that little cold Clark thing? No, probably not. Not enough material. You should set up a large screen TV for that. That's my preferred method to watch live streams. Lets you do just about anything. I only go to the computer to type chat. So I only use the computer, Rob, because I've got 2 monitors. And I have one where I'm doing work usually, be it accounting or circuit board design, maintaining the online store. And I pretty much always have some video happening on the other monitor. Often it's just walking videos in Japan, primarily Japan. Sometimes it's ambient stuff like Brian Eno. Sometimes it's stuff like, the Brett Joy videos where he's traveling, but stuff that doesn't require a lot of cognitive load to take in, right? And then I'm having it in the background. Sometimes I listen to ABC Jazz. I've been listening to a lot of Coltrane recently, trying to educate myself. Stuff to relax, you know? And then I listen to death metal when I'm driving. But I need to get a 4K monitor, a big fuck off 4K monitor, because I want to start doing stuff in 4K. But my computer, last time I tried to watch 4K, it crashed. BGG, drama guaranteed. Brad, do you know Zip Frank's channel? I've heard the name, but I don't. What's it regarding? What's the main subject material there, lol? I want a Pommy Git t-shirt. I'm sure there's one out there. Dude, at Brad's Guitar Garage, I got no zero this time yesterday, all over hair. There's a barber school here in AKL and Auckland, and for free they learn on people like me. Best mullet you've seen. What are you talking about? Who's got a mullet? Hey Brad, thanks for the great work. You got that wit. I don't know. Lay Lady Lay by Ministry. They didn't do a version, did they, guys? Really? Fuck, I've got to check that out when the stream's over. Just get a copyright strike if I do it now. Vintage Vox AC10 doesn't want to get to 100% plate dissipation. I'm getting about 85% now. Plate voltage already a bit lower than schematic. Would you leave it or chase the last 15? Sounds like something sagging a bit there, man. Have you tried another rectifier valve? Have you tried new EL84s? The EL84s might be just dying in the arse, and the rectifier might be dying in the arse. You sound like Dr. Love there, Brad. All that extra bass. If I got extra bass, it's all about the bass. Why are rich people the neediest? Because they're liars, Lou. Instead of saying, oh, we've already said that. Yeah, okay. I saw that on the up scroll. MySpace is broken. It's running, but none of the features work anymore. That sucks. I thought someone bought it out. Yeah, sold but never shut down. MySpace. Murdoch bought it because they thought MySpace was hip, but they had no idea how to fucking manage it. Fucking Murdoch bought it. I thought it got sold to some philanthropist recently. Would you repair an amp for Ted Nugent? No. Because it would be a fucking super twin and they suck. I wonder if Tom is still my friend. Who? Tom Petty? Justin Timberlake. Okay. Justin Timberlake bought MySpace. No idea who bought it now. Hang on. Are you just talking about his character in The Social Network? I think you're being funny, Peter. You know Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the soundtrack for that. Basically 9 Inch Nails. Hi Brad, referring to your flyback diode short vid, what value is recommended? I see Fender uses R3000, but I've also seen recommendations of stringing 1N4007s, lower voltage but higher current rating. So I use R3000s on, R3000s or R5000Fs from Rectron. G'day Dave, how you going, legend? What's happening? We're just talking shit today, Dave. There's not a lot of subject matter this morning except for just chat. I'm just ripping through it at the moment, trying to catch up. Scanning. You change the depletion region with a voltage in the DMM. It's a standard Schmidt trigger and integrator. I think I've seen something about this, son. I think it was to do with vintage synths. Variable capacitance. Huh. That's interesting, but there's probably more efficient ways to change a clock frequency, like PLLs and whatever. I blame Brad for all the drama at the start of the stream. Your skin is pretty good. Thank you. I did moisturize. You got to start moisturizing when you hit 40. That's something I didn't know. I've blocked so many skeezy companies that wanted me to sell you guys bullshit. Particularly when it's something completely unrelated to the channel, Lyle. It's just weird. Just go away. Actually, I would love to be sponsored by B&H Photo, but then I couldn't stream on Saturdays. Why not? At least use your arsehole. Hit like and subscribe, yes. Even I'll hit like. I'm already... Oh, it keeps telling me to subscribe. I mustn't be logged in for some reason. We've got 69... it was the 69th like. Brad making Saturday morning TV great again. Bought your Gadget yet, Brad? No, not yet. One of these days. My mum doesn't even know what I do. You make it sound like you're a gangster there, Alex. Lyle, my mother has never seen one of my videos, but she texted me the other day saying she heard something about podcasts and maybe you should research them. Aw, that's adorable. Hey Brad, ever check out 5 Watt World? Yeah. He recently had a video of him building an amp with a friend. Yeah, I know him and I know the friend. In the video, I was chatting with the friend about something the other day. Don't eat a whole sheet. Yeah, we're talking about the ads. The pedal show humanized that guy. Which guy are we talking about? He thinks you are disinterested. What are you talking about, Gast? Brad, beautiful Saturday morning. How you going? Please give me your thoughts on them. Fuck. Just had a power surge. There's construction going on next door. Wouldn't that be good? My router reset. Still streaming. No drop frames. I heard something go bang outside. I can hear machinery. Router still looks like it's going. Is it? Yeah, still transferring data. Don't know. That even triggered the relay in the amplifier. Interesting. Hopefully it keeps going. Live chat, live messages, all messages. There we go. I regularly watch Lazy J videos whenever I need a good laugh. Hall of Fame quality right up there with the honey badger thing. Negative comments sometimes means you really know what you're doing. Look, I don't know what it is behind, you know, defending equipment. These manufacturers don't care about you. Oh my fucking god, it jumped again. Jesus. Now I don't know where we were. I hate that chat thing, man. Joe Peasy, if your friend is Dan Lurie or Brad and they offer to do most of the work, take them up on it. Keith from 5 Watt World did a good bit of work on that, but Dan is a professional. Yeah, Dan and I were chatting about stuff the other day. He's a legend. All us text, mate. We all chat. We're all in cahoots. It's a conspiracy, isn't it, Dave? Always bugged me that he always had others playing guitar and he never played one note. But that was the last straw for me. It just seems so fake. What seems fake? What are we talking about? What? Brad's Guitar Garage. I'll intro you to the office hours. Been on here since March 2020. You have people that worked on Star Wars. Wow. Speaking of that kind of thing, I wonder where Wes is. You here, Wes? Roll call time. Time to get some merch made, Brad. I'm getting some more stubby coolers, or beer coolsies, as the Canadians call them. Outsourcing guitar playing on a guitar channel. Yeah. Keith? No, I don't think Keith's not fake. Keith's a player, isn't he? I actually know who I would call great guitar players that love Lazy J amps. I see a PC fan and some silly Hammond bollocks. I have limited knowledge on those, but it's crazy to me. Well, the thing is, guitar players don't take the guitars apart, the amps apart, do they? That's why I'm here, right? I just don't know how to articulate it. If you're coming up with an original design, and people love it, or if you're manufacturing something from scratch, I've got to get my bullets in a row here. Essentially, like, okay, so think about the people who promote a lot of these boutique brands. Eric Clapton. He's fucking deaf. He admits he's deaf. Everyone's like, oh, if he loves it. They like money. They like money. They get given money to play these things, right? Like, if you don't know that that's how it works, then there's no real helping you. So that's a factor. He's deaf. He likes money. A lot of these guys are in, like, you know, I don't mean to be rude, but they're in the twilight of their career, right? So they're just, they take this thing and they put it in their living room and it looks nice. They're not, a lot of them gig with them and a lot of them don't gig with them. But they also have a team of techs. So if anything goes wrong with it, they don't know. It just, okay, so imagine, I don't know, Robin Ford or whoever plays these things goes to rehearsal. The amp stops working, it makes a pop noise and smoke comes out of it. They go, fuck, that's weird. They turn it off, they plug into their matchless or whatever, and keep going. Their tech dutifully comes in, unplugs the thing, takes it away. Doesn't even really talk to him about it. He fixes it, does probably what I did, brings it back, and now it works again. And that guitarist's like, ah, cool, it's back. And that's all they know about it, right? So that's what happens. Guys like us make it work again, like I did with that one. And then they're probably roadworthy after that. But if they don't come from the fucking factory roadworthy, that's a big, big problem. So you guys don't have the budget. I'm sorry, maybe one or two of you do, but the majority of you guys don't have the budget of these superhero guitarists. So if something goes wrong, it's a big issue. It's not just the amp disappears and comes back working again. You've actually got to pay for it and go get a quote and go out of your way and get it repaired and pay money. And listen to a tech like me whinge. So it's an issue, you know? You can't pretend it's not. And if you do pretend it's not, you're lying to yourself. I don't know. I'm very shit at, articulating points like that. I'm not very good at it, but yeah, that's why I just shut up now. I couldn't be fucked. Keith is still learning how to record audio well. So am I. He's a very good guitar player. Yes, Brad, trying to catch up on my list of stuff. I had a lot of messages from guys in America keeping me up all night. Is that orders for the Origin stuff? You've got it? Be careful with your time there, Alex. There's a forum group for a reason. I'm pleased Lyle is here. We're in conversation with two of the best amp techs around. Oh, thanks, mate. No, I assume you're talking about Dave and Lyle. I'm just here watching, talking shit. What's the latest and greatest on the DSL and TSL boards? Well. Received the prototypes yesterday. Couldn't help myself. Had to start checking that things fit. It's the For-Your Marshall 2000. Sorry, I find that very entertaining. I'm going to give myself a bit more light there. It's a little bit dull. So everything fits. A few mistakes so far already. The first of which being, let me pull out a blank one, and a slightly depopulated board. So the first one being just a screw hole being off by about 2 or 3 mil. Where is it? Oh, about 5 mil. I'm not sure what happened there. I think what happened was I locked certain components, but then at some point I must have accidentally unlocked them. So when you place a component, in KiCad, you've got the option, if it's a mechanical fitting, you can lock it once you've positioned it, and if you try and move it, it'll give you a warning, but you can override that warning, which is kind of pointless. Now, generally I didn't override the warning, but every now and then you override something just to get something done, and then you move it back or whatever. But this hole down here has ended up about 5 mil out, probably because I moved something in this area and dragged it with it while it was unprotected. So that's not great. The other thing was the radius of the holes for the octal pins. For some reason, I think this is the stout little Beltons that sit on the board, and the leads come out a little bit, whereas the ones used in this, they're dead straight. So I need to change the basically the radius that these holes are based on and just bring it in a touch, probably about 2 mil. So I still managed to get the Beltons on there, but I had to bend the pins out to fit. So I don't want there to be manual stuff like that requires doing before assembly. What else was there? I think that was it so far. 2 things. But yeah, I'll populate the rest of it with the stuff already got on hand, and then I'll come up with a comprehensive parts list with actual part codes and the location you can buy them from. Like all of these little white plastic connectors, they're all JST brand. That's actually the EH series connectors, and they've all got a part code. There's my little logo. Resistors wise, I'm just using the V-shays like that. I went away from the ones that they use, the the ones with the integral posts, I guess you could call them, because they're hard to find and you got to order in massive quantities to get them. So I thought if we just use that's the one off the TSL 60, 1K 5 watt, 1K 5 watt. You can see the difference in size there. But I've decided to just use like leaded components, and you just got to form the leads like we normally do. Focus, you fuck. Anyway, you can see, you get the idea. They're just lightweight V-shays. I've got to order the 270 ohm one. But yeah, all the caps and everything worked out well. Oh, the other thing I want to do is change. For the big ones, I went snap in, and that's real easy and good to line up. So I'll probably see how small the snap-ins are available. Like, can I get snap-ins in 22 microfarad? Can I get them in 100 microfarad? And use them, all those 5 there as snap-ins as well if possible. But the footprint for the wave soldered Beltons worked out well. That was good. A little bridge rectifier standing up on end there stays out of the way. You can see the stock layout there where it's sort of a little bit more crowded in that area. Zoom out a touch. So I just tried to make everything a little bit neater and keep the lead lengths as short as possible. To the valve sockets, that kind of gear. So I fundamentally changed. Let's get the flatboard on. I fundamentally changed the routing of the heater lines and got rid of the fuses because I think that's kind of unnecessary. So you can see there's that big fat trace up there. That's the heater line. And then there's a big fat one on the other side. It's exactly copied from one face to the other to have the most hum rejection, and that carries the 2 heater lines, and then it goes up to the rectifier which delivers DC heaters to the first 2 valves with its own filtering up there. And so all the heaters are up one side away from all the signal as far as possible, and the power supply is basically running through the center, and you've got a ground plane on the, well, not a fill area for the ground there as well. So that's 2mm thick FR4, 2 ounce copper, and gold plated through hole pads. So, you know, it wouldn't be a Brad's Guitar Garage job if there wasn't some stuff that needed refining, but that's what a prototype's for, legends. I absolutely expected some stuff needing improvement. Frankie, hope you all stay safe and have fun this weekend. Not a chance, mate. I'm working all weekend. Hopefully chilling on a Friday in the factory. Keith doesn't pretend to be a virtuoso. He does first-rate videos about guitar and music-related subjects. When he needs music to support his video, he asks a friend to help. Fair enough. I mean, I get constant comments complaining about my playing, and it is shit. When I sit down and practice for a weekend and I come back, you can noticeably hear it's better. I've had comments, oh, your playing is improved and seems more focused. Yeah, that's because I played all weekend. You usually cover all the areas. No questions and comments needed. I'm not a Gibson fan, but I love Trogley's channel because of his passion for Gibsons and educating us. Here's a reason I bought my rare Sundew Gold Ibanez he reviewed. Sweet. Mr. FGR, what's your name? It's Frankie. Frankie boy. I love his attitude, Frank. I love his sense of humour. He makes me laugh. And his little movie snippets make me laugh too. They're so out of context, it's great. No fucking idea if Plunger Coffee is over there. Should be. Plunger Coffee, I do have some in the shop, but it's pretty fucking terrible, to be honest. I go with espresso. I've got a nice machine at home, a Expa office lever. I tried to watch Beto, just doesn't click for me. I think he's good. He's like the Anthony Bourdain of music. Similar vibes. Very, very experienced. I can't count how many instruments I received that have been worked on by the owner's best friend. Epoxy, yeah. Sometimes there's no choice but epoxy, like if it's a cheap guitar and something's gone fucking, you know, like plywood, for example, you've got to inject that shit to relaminate it. But yeah. Louis now deleting comments after all the work I did to get him back. Well, that sleep blocked him. Yeah, he probably just had a typo, mate. No biggie. I only delete dumb things I say. I've got a big fuck off 4K monitor. It rocks mad. What brand did you go with for that? Was that just Apple, Lyle? Or was that a third party? The Frank makes amazing, hilarious, informative... Oh, nature videos. Okay, cool. I'll check that out, because that's the stuff I love watching when I've knocked off. Knocked off, as they say. You can just get a 4K TV. Yeah, but I don't want it on my office bench. I don't really sit on the couch and watch TV, partially because I'm a bit short-sighted. So when I sit in front of the computer, I can see great detail. There's no point having a 4K TV if I'm sitting 6 meters back from it, because I can't see the fucking detail. May as well have standard definition. Most TVs don't have accurate colors. That's the other thing. TVs are just good enough for the average pleb. For monitors, you want something that's calibratable, at least. The student had the best ever fucking mullet. Me, 0 on top. Oh, and everywhere. I guess Brad looks as sexy as I used to before I got old. I don't know about that. I'm trying to lose weight, but not much time to exercise. I'm here 15 hours a day. Yeah, some of the players you've had in recently have been fantastic. Lyle, I love Steve's stuff. I love the Joe Restivo stuff. It's great too. I use a UF 4007 for everything, mainly because I badly misordered too many. Well, they're the go-to, Alex. That's the one you want, man. There is a slight difference in the noise from the rectification switching. It's pretty minimal, but between the 1N 4007s and the UF 4007s, because the UF are faster acting, it is measurable. So you know you've got the right one there. It's good. So it's a good part to have too many of, because you'll go through them. See you, Rob. You've already gone probably, but yeah. The smoker you drink, the players you get. Most guys freeze up playing, especially live. I'd leave it to the professional guys that are used to playing live as well. Yeah, that's true. Like Yeatsy. Yeatsy's, he's got some licks, bro. Won't see this for 30 minutes. Oh, I've almost caught up, champion. Okay, now the clock frequency. Fuck, I'm half blues boomer, half bloop bleeper. How can I stop the clock whine? Okay, so Gast, that means when Gast says I am half blues boomer and half bloop bleeper, that means he's using synths and digital effects on his pedal board likely. It's hard, man. There seems to be not a lot of knowledge with good grounding when you're mixing, digital and analog circuitry. The people who design the recording interfaces and digital mixes and stuff kind of have it under control, but they're actual engineers, not pedal builders. A lot of pedal builders barely know fucking Ohm's law, so that's probably why you end up with a lot of trouble with some of the digital pedals, particularly those made by the boutique brands, because they're just throwing application sheets together to make a circuit without thinking about the overall thing. You've got to separate those grounds, but it's hard when everything's so tightly closed together in a friggin' pedal. I've caught up with chat. Oh, no, it just jumped again. I thought I caught up. What happened? Oh my god. It wouldn't let me scroll anymore. And then it did. the fuck am I that far behind? What happened? Okay, now I've caught up. All right, so yeah, it showed that I was way behind, but then I was up to date, and now I'm way behind again. Still here, saw the neon surge. Yeah, right. Okay. So, fuck, we're only back at then. You could try looking at the chat. Yeah, well, I'm trying. I'm catching up, mate. Okay. So we're only up to the power. Anagram for Elon Musk is lone scum. Fucking really? There you go. It says a lot. Lol, your channel has heart because of your playing. Keith has marketing, stories, and outsourced playing. I'm so excited. I'm sure he's going to build the deluxe. He's doing what he's doing. Seems like 2 screens is necessary to keep track of live chats. All Brad's amp repairs belong to us. Yes, that's right. All my knowledge that I share on here, my experience, is now yours. For you to do with what you wish. Then when he drop shipped it to his friend, watched him do all of it. Oh well. You don't have to watch. Yeah, that's right. I shall be listening while prepping a stir fry. Pork and broccoli. Oh, I love broccolini. My favourite vegetable. Love it when it's just charred on the outside, but the stalk's still crispy, like crunchy. A lot of garlic there. Broccolini is like a garlic vehicle. And chili flakes, black pepper. Make me hungry now. During lockdown, because no one came to the shop, it was fucking... I gotta say, it was heaven. but I could cook crazy shit in the kitchen because the whole shop would smell like whatever I cooked, and no one was coming in, so it didn't matter. So I was cooking like salmon fillets on the fucking on the sandwich press, and I'd cook a brisket over the weekend. So when I came to work, I'd have big fat slices of brisket, and I'd chuck a slice of brisket that was like half an inch thick in the sandwich press, along with a few bits of broccolini, and that was my breakfast. It was so good. I might just start doing that again. Fuck everyone's nose. Everyone's here. Yeah, it's the fucking hangout place, mate. Oh, we just popped over 100 viewers, 107 viewers. Got any legends? How many likes have we got? Can't see on the screen. To be honest, it doesn't sound bad, but it is a Tweed Deluxe. Yeah, I mean, once it was done, it sounded fantastic. And I had tried to set everyone's mind at ease, Gast, in the last one. I said, look, if you own one of these, don't stress. It's okay. We can fix it. We can make it awesome. Just take it to a tech. Take out the stupid 6L6s. Put in 6V6s. They'll actually bias correctly and have a chance of not burning your transformer if it hasn't already. Just do these few things and you'll be fine. Don't stress about it. It'll sound better. The trem will work better. Everything will be better. And then people even hated that video. They're just like, how dare you? How dare you talk about our fucking, what do you call it? Disciple. Like that. Whatever. I happen to know that one much emulated player playing one of the amps in question had his Tech D stupefy it, just like Brad and I have. Yeah. There you go. And I know who you're talking about there, Lyle, and I think it would shock a lot of you to know that the bloke who everyone refers to as owning this thing has had that stuff done to his amp, alright? Problem is, no one's publicised that, so fucking we're out here on our own. Brad, saw the Marshall replacement board video. Nice work, since most of the PCB videos on YouTube are not for high voltage. Hang on. Can you share? Okay, right. I think I got what you're saying. So, hi Brad, saw the Marshall replacement board video. Nice work, since most of the PCB videos on YouTube are not for high voltage tube amps. Okay, so you're talking the PCB designing tutorial videos. Can you share best practices for designing for tube amps? Yes. Probably should do a video about that. There's a lot of guys who probably know a lot more than I do, but let's have a look. Let's just show you a few things. So, lead dress. But here, all our leads are traces. So keeping stuff away from other stuff. So probably the most pertinent area is around the output stage. So you can see I've tried to arrange the screen resistors and the dropper network as logically as possible, a bit more logically than Marshall did. So you got this distance for your screen resistor as short as possible. This distance for your grid stopper as short as possible to avoid any oscillations. And there's that one. You've got logical flow of stuff, like you got your rectifier over here, and then that's your B+. You got your series caps with your series resistors right next to them. They can be sort of hugging the cap because they don't dissipate much power. They put 220s in there, but you can put 470s, it's fine. It just balances the voltage as long as you don't go below the leakage current of the caps. And as long as they discharge within, 2 minutes or so of being powered off. Again, there, another series cap for the next node. That's the screen node there, and that's the positive. So that links up to this node here, because that's like a choke simulator, I guess. You got your B+, you got your dropper resistor, and then that's your screen node. And you can see that on the other side. It sort of feeds off like a little tree. Then you got your next nodes, 1, 2, 3 preamp nodes, and they fuck off to relevant sections. And we're trying to keep the preamp stuff down this way, away from all the output stage and power supply. Just got a little fly thing floating around my head, sorry. So, net classes. You can see here I've got big thick traces going to the heater, and that's because I've defined the heater net by that trace width. Here I've manually overridden that by creating a polygon and then filling it in. Fuck off, you little arsehole. Gotcha. Probably a fruit fly. Probably got an old banana over there or something. So your power supply lines I've given a net class. So that's like a 4mm trace. I think I went 5mm for the heaters. You've also got, as well as trace width, you've got via size. So there's not many vias on here, but there's a few. A via is kind of like an admission of defeat. So it passes one track through to the other side, and then that track goes off to where you need. Sort of like back in the day where you'd have a link or whatever. So if you actually need a via, that's because there's no other way where you have enough clearance to get that track to where it needs to go. Normally you'd just try and pass it, like use the actual pad as a via. But you can see there's other stuff in the way, so I couldn't do it. So you're sort of leaning on the software's rules, but you can change those rules to suit your needs. So things like the high voltage clearance. So here you've got your ground plane, and here you've got your high voltage caps. Now notice there's a little fillet there. That's because I've given it 3mm clearance to the HT, so nothing can get within 3mm of an HT pad or trace without it giving you an error and actually physically not allowing you to get there unless you manually override it. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. So having margins there to any ground planes or any other traces is very important, because otherwise you get arcs and issues. That was an issue with some of the, I think it was the Tone King Gremlin or something had an issue with that. The Voxes have issues with that, the AC30C2, I think, where they run stuff too close and eventually it breaks down the conformal coating, the solder mask I should say. And it can arc over and burn a hole in the PCB. Now other things there, like you've got isolation slots between the high voltage differentials. You've got your grid there, which is very sensitive to high voltage, and then you've got your screen grid there, and it's got this isolation slot between them just to help stop any leakage occurring in the board or any arc over. We've got flyback diodes there as well. But also we've got an isolation slot between the heater and pin 3, which is where most arcs occur if the flyback event occurs, stuff like that. The biggest thing is just, well, you've got to think about what's close to what, just like you would with a hand wired amp with lead dress. But margins is the big one, and current carrying capability of the traces. So you can see the heater trace there is massive. So when you when you have a certain current on a trace, there's calculators online to do this. I think even DigiKey's got one. You enter the trace thickness and width, enter the expected current flow, and it will tell you how hot that trace will get, like how many degrees above ambient it will get to. I was aiming for like 1 or 2 degrees here. It's always going to raise by some amount, but you want to minimize that. So yeah, there's quite a bit to it, but the software is getting so good that it really helps you out. But it's all reconfigurable, so you got to know what you're doing and set it up. Don't set it up halfway through laying out your circuit board. That's a mistake I keep making, because you get excited and you start laying traces, and then you realize halfway through that you fucked it because you didn't set your rules up properly at the start. And I did that with this, and I ended up deleting every single trace, and I did it twice until I was happy with it. Things just started getting too convoluted. And I thought, okay, I've got to look very hard at the rat's nest, which is the basically straight lines showing what needs to connect to what before you've laid any traces. You need to get it to the point where the rat's nest looks as simple as possible. It's really, there's no set way of doing it. You've just got to stare at it for ages. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle, you know? There's no rule, oh, this is how you do a jigsaw puzzle. Sometimes some people are better at it than others. I think I'm pretty fucking mediocre. But yeah, it was very frustrating. I deleted the traces 2 times, and the 3rd time I actually started from scratch again and took stock on what was difficult the previous time, and then tried to make life easier for myself by making the layout a bit more efficient before laying down any traces at all, because it gets difficult after that. Carrying on. Joe Bonamassa stopped using Lazy Joe because they kept failing. Yeah, well, no one talks about that, do they? Got to grab a bite. Take it easy. Guitar rich. Have a good gig. Heard that signal generator sweep in my dream the other night. Yeah, I've got one of them too. Let's plug it in. What oscillator are you using again there, Frank? I thought I saw it was a HP. Hey, big spender. How's that? That's BK Precision 4017A. Not the best, but you know, does the job. Good enough for the girls I go out with, as AVE says. I woke up in a cold sweat. Brad, I did offer to double check everything before you ordered. Oh, what's the fun in that, Lyle? I didn't want to bother you, mate. Look, we're 90% of the way there. Yeah, we'll be right. If I get stuck, I'll give you a yell, but I know how busy you are, so I don't want to get on it. Any thoughts on the Jack White Fender amp? Panaverb seems interesting. I was very interested by that amp, and frankly, it's the most original amp I've seen in a long time. And of course, like Jack White's involved, of course it's going to be a crazy interesting thing. Straight away, some of my tech mates started, you know, being a bit negative about what the repairability might be of this thing, but man, it's a cool concept and it sounds awesome, and it's the first amp I've heard in a long time where you hear someone plug in and it's like bang, it actually sounds like the artist. I'd love to get my hands on one and have a look at it, but yeah, $5-6 grand. I'd rather a motorbike before I got one of them, I think. But yeah, cool. It's cool to see they're doing original stuff. I'll give them 100% credit for that. Good on them. And taking, you know, that's a ballsy marketing decision. I know Jack White's popular, but it's a very specialised amp. I hope to see one soon. If Fender's engineering prowess these days is anything to go off, it won't be too long before I see one. This means his tech finally convinced him. Yeah, I think so. How you going, Sean, by the way? I think I missed your name earlier. I like mullets. The front says I'll stay and raise the baby. The front says I'll stay and raise the baby. The back says I want to play in a band. That pretty much sums it up, Frankie. See you, Rob. Take it easy. The Marshall board always has cracked joints for those standoff resistors. Yeah, too much mechanical stress for the lead-free skimpy wave soldering. The other thing is, if I'm shipping these to the EU, do I need to use lead-free solder? Probably Dave could elaborate on that. Dave, still there, champ? I suppose I need to use lead-free solder if anything's going to the EU, eh? Don't know. Do they just like randomly test shit and dispose of it if it's got lead? Seems a bit nanny statey, doesn't it? Started building guitars. That finally cured my gear acquisition syndrome. Yeah. So you're building guitars, Lou? That's mad. Send me an email with some of the photos if you can. I'd love to see that. You organise shipping. When you're making for your messer dropping. Well, Max Powers. There's a man that already does them, and his name is Alex, and he's in the stream right now. Just did a Mark II C board. Take a Brad Mark 1 board. There's not a lot that goes wrong with the Mark 1s though. Like the Mark 1s and Mark 2s are actually, providing someone hasn't soldered them with like a fucking 100-watt soldering iron, yeah, generally recoverable. Love to hear all you badass players. Random question. Have you ever tinkered with a Marshall Blues Breaker reissue? Wondering if I should be asked rotating the OT for lower noise, or if I've just been watching way too many Sonic videos. Look, if you're getting hum when it's in standby, then yes. If not, probably don't worry about it. 10 years, Lou, you've been making guitars. That's mad. Show me some photos if you can, champ. Thanks for a really enjoyable evening's watching, Brad. Catching up with your next live stream. Best wishes from Scotland. Take it easy, Martin. I assume you're on the way out. Enjoy your beautiful, cheap scotch over there. Oh no, Bourdain is a human legend. Rick is a thing, but he will not sniff. Yeah. I'll tell you which privately. You already told me. I just got my oscilloscope swapped by Jcar because the signal gen wasn't working. They tested the one display and it was doing the same thing. The one on display was doing the same thing. Easiest exchange I've ever had. Alex, what the fuck are you buying an oscilloscope from Jcar for? Yes, with fines you're supposed to have it CE certified. Really? Just for a board? EU has lead-free exception for repairs. Hang on, I've got to have this CE certified just for a fucking board, do I? So no Europe. Does that mean Europe's out? Why does it look blue there? Colour balance. It looks like teal. Huh. But then you look here, and that's the actual colour. That's crazy, isn't it? Good old Panasonic. I like the old philosophy of builds. Solos are cool. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some with bad frets. Like all the European, like all the Indonesian-made guitars, the fretwork can be a bit hit and miss. I'll send you some links to photos probably later tonight. No rush, just whenever you're ready. I'll get back on my feet, so to speak. I'll send you a Solar guitar. I have 5. Okay, cool. Check them out. I've seen and heard some of the frets have been a bit uneven and lifting in the ends, particularly the multi-scales. It's kind of hard to consistently press frets to a multi-scale because it's not a radius, it's like a parabola. And you need one of those new fancy articulated pret presses. Pret presses. Get a pret press. Fret presses. I need another coffee. I might go for another coffee in 15 minutes. It's not just humming standby. The PT radiates noise into the audio circuit PI input high impedance node. Right, okay. So what does that manifest itself as? Unintended feedback. JCar stuff is fun. My multimeter has different fuse ratings on the PCB and plastic case. What? How did that pass? How did that pass certification? And the fuse inside is different again. Jesus. No, you can sell to the EU. Okay. Do I need certification? I'll talk to Rod Elliott about that. He knows more about certification than I do, and he sells boards all over the world. He doesn't give a fuck, eh? He does, actually, and I've chatted with him, by the way. I don't know what you're talking about. The bare board might be okay. You know what? The other thing, I think the bare board made to lead-free spec should be okay. Well, that's this, because I got it just gold-plated. But then the issue is, like, so yeah, the solder's one thing, right? So I can use lead-free solder, but all the leads on the components have to be lead-free too. The components all have to be lead-free. And some of these, because we're talking valve amps here, some of these components are only available in 1 or 2 iterations, which may or may not be lead-free. Like, how do you know if a fucking Belton socket's lead-free? Like, is the tinning on the contacts leaded? I don't know. Does Belton even document that? I don't know. Like JST. There's only one of these connectors in the world made by JST. If that's like tinned with lead, there's no other solution. There's no other manufacturer. So if that means you can't ship to the EU, well, fuck the EU then. And anyway, how do fines work? How can they fine me from the EU? I'm in Australia. You can send me a fine, I'll just ignore it. What the fuck do I care? I don't know how that works, but anyway. Fuck off, I have right here with me now Solars and PRSs and SEs, no fucking Fred issues, fuck off. Internet fucking bullshit. Settle down, Peter. I'm just saying, I've had a few with lifting Fred ends. They probably were early ones and they probably got on top of it and figured it out and fixed it. So, fantastic, no problem, excellent. I do Sterling's. Had a few problems with uneven frets. One was way out and I had to take it down. And now the latest batch I got were perfect. So they've got on top of it. They've probably got sicker returns. So it's within their interest to make shit that works, isn't it? All right. HS tariff 83. Yep. Okay. Spec out all ROHS stuff from Mouser. Yeah, but that may not be possible, as I'm saying. Integral parts of a larger system seem to be exempt in most cases for CE marking. I'm not sure if a populated constitutes under that. EU laws are vague. Yay. Just sell unpopulated. I sell it all the time. Problem is then you need to deal with dickheads assembling it. You should be okay with unpopulated. Oh, I'm seeing the emails now. Just, oh, put it in. It doesn't work. You're a scam artist. And they show you a photo and it's burnt the fuck out of it, and this thing's hanging off and everything's melted. My point is, Mouser has the documentation. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. So maybe with the next revision, I'll go on there and figure out. Oh, losing my voice. I'll go on there and figure out if I've got to change layout to suit ROHS compliant components, because that's probably going to take the priority over the ideal layout. Our customs will only bother to come for you if they recover the cost. Huh. So they fine our customs and then our customs has to come and recoup the cost off me? That seems a bit bullshit. Did you know when you're forced to buy a pot from JK, you can fit 7 lock nuts on? To me. No comment. No comment, Mike's Powers. I may or may not have done that in the past. I think it was some weird switch thread nut. Just ask Dave. I've jumped through all these hoops. Yeah, well, I was hoping he was still here, but I think he's actually busy. Maybe just make the buyer has to do a quiz before they can purchase them. Bro, our I think it's Solid State of Mind page, has a quiz for people to join. I reckon 5% of the people who do it actually do it satisfactorily, eh? I was in a Princeton 64 hand wired. I've replaced of a busted reissue. Wired in replacement of a busted reissue. Okay, is it worth me to paying to get it bulletproof by tech? Yeah. If it's a good tech, where are you? Jazz is now. Jazz is now. How much do you make selling PCBs to the EU? Well, I want to make... I mean, shipping is going to be up there. I don't know. I haven't run the figures yet, but I've got to. The lead tastes funny. I think lead tastes slightly sweet, doesn't it? I think at least lead oxide does anyway. So, the Vox Champions. Latest video I put up. We got approval. So that's going ahead. Kind of happy about that. We're kind of a little bit apprehensive as well. All right, let's go back to the old school and actually do some work, eh? Hey. Let's remember what this channel is here for. Doing work. Yeah, the barber fucked up my beard a bit. He cut too much off. Scotty! I could do with an iron brew. You get on it last night, champion. Ooh, we've got a Ndle. We've got a Dal. Are you going to straighten the chassis? Yes, I am. I've got to take the transformer off anyway, send to you. So I may as well straighten it while it's off. Yeah, but he took too much off. My head looks round again. I think he misunderstood make it half the length. Because he made it like a quarter of the length. So, RD100. I like these things, me. I'm not going to power it up, and I'll show you why. It's an interesting EQ curve. I don't know why I said everything at midway. It's like an OCD thing. So, this one has been sitting dormant for a very long time, apparently, and he's got it out and just started playing again. Or just started playing with this again. Anyway, his old man bought it for him when he was like 14. Like, what an old man! What a legend! Yeah, he looks like he's mid-20s, so it's probably 10, 12 years old. Got it new, and he turned it on and saw a bit of a light show inside it, so he turned it back off again. And I said, "Good move." You guys see that video of the 6v6 arcing out on Dad's tube tester? I think I made it members only because I didn't want to upset Tube Amp Doctor too much. I'm in the home of the American Delta Blues. Do you think Peavy's new 20 combo suffers from the same shortcomings as the Classic 30? I don't think so, Jason, because they've completely changed their construction. They've got radial caps now, which is fantastic. They've got through-hole plated boards, which is fantastic. I reckon they're still probably beating the fucking EL84s like a redheaded stepchild, though, which they all tend to do for some reason. Don't know why. Everyone runs their EL84s at like 160%. And, of course, they burn up. I like the new trim back look. Thanks, mate. I set everything to 6. 6 to 7 drop D. You guys, I don't know who follows Alex's channel, but I should put it up. Hang on. Oh, yeah, you find him on here, and I think he's got links to his Instagram and stuff, Facebook. But Alex just finished making a fucking beast of an amp. I'll just share the screen. I'll queue it up. Hang on. Oh, hang on. First, we've got to check on the falcons. I've got to see if the falcons have laid the eggs yet. Desk chair. It's nesting. Have they started hatching? Stand up. I've got to scan to a bit where they're standing up. No, haven't hatched yet. Due any day now. So that's 367 Collins Street, Melbourne. Someone randomly put a nest box up there because they noticed a couple of falcons trying unsuccessfully to nest in this gutter. So they put a nest box with some gravel in there for them, like a scrape that you'd find on the side of a cliff. And every year when they lay their first egg, they start the stream, and then you watch them turn into, grow up and turn into fledglings and then fledge. And I think a couple of weeks after the last one fledges, they cut off the stream and wait till next year. Let's not get distracted. Coming from you, Alex, ADHD man. Anyway, so yeah, check in on that every morning just to see if the eggs have hatched. But yeah, distracted. Alex, serious. I'm unscrewing the cabinet. CE distribution just bumped up the carbon compositions to $90 for 100. Well, hang on, that's bumped down. You just got to buy 100. They're shit anyway. Carbon comps. Don't worry about them. What am I looking for? Serious amplification-age. Alright, share screen. Got channel switching with LEDs on the little marketing lamps, little marketing LEDs. That's a rack mount unit. He's done his Mesa Mark II C resto there as well. We were both doing one around the same time. It's probably got a better link to that. I've seen him play. Was that on Instagram, Alex? Anyway, I'll give you just that link. I think he's got some sound samples on Instagram as well. Posted him on... Oh, okay, Modern DIY. Meant to be working on here too. Concentrating on shit is a 90s skill. It is a bit, eh? I think we're all, and I'm finding it harder every day to focus on shit. I think it's fucking social media, eh? And here's me making videos. 5 minutes still open, champions. I've been watching The Bear. Started watching The Bear last night. 5 minutes still open. Man, that's a stressful thing. When I sort shit out, I'll get over there, beers. Yep, but big question is best chicken parma ever, and then where? They've got a good one at O'Donoghue's. O'Donoghue's over, in Emu Plains. I prefer their steak. They've got a nice 200 gram rump steak over there that I do like partaking in. Oh, come on. fuck's holding that in? Assembled in China. Oh, it's got aluminium. And it's already been crunched up. Okay, someone's been in here before. I need a light again. Explain chicken parma. Really? Yeah, the aluminium's all crunched up. It's actually sheets of aluminium. Aluminum. Might have to take the faceplate off. The Bear is a Ripper series. Yeah, it's good, eh? I saw someone saying it's boring. I'm like, no. The reason they think it's boring is because when someone's standing there staring, it's a plot tool to make you wonder what they're thinking. Right? You don't have to explicitly get told what people are thinking the whole time. You got to think for that yourself. What the fuck? I'm currently recording one video while also making a video about how I make videos using the video I'm making. Whoa, it's too early for that shit, Lyle. Put down the bong. Oh, god damn it. First customer and not even open yet. I can't get this amp out. It's going to end on a low note, champs. Do I call it here? Or do we keep streaming? Still got 100 viewers, so probably keep streaming. But then if I'm quiet for fucking half an hour at a time while the customer's here, it's not going to be very entertaining, is it? Oh, are they leaving? Hang on a minute. I'm going to have to open the shop, champs. Hang on. I think we'll just call it Legends. I'm going to have to swear at this amp to get it out of the cabinet anyway. And there's already 2 people waiting out front. So I better go and do the business thing. But thanks for joining us, Legends. Give us a thumbs up and give us a like, you know. Share it around, any of you like-minded legends. And I'll see you on the next one. See you on the next video. But I'll also see you in the next live stream. Hopefully we'll be able to do it next week. And yeah. You streaming tomorrow, Lyle? Anyway, let me know. I'll wake up at 4 AM. See yous.